Well, hopefully you're excited. We've gone through why marketing, um, what businesses need, mapping your interests, um, how you can help businesses. Then I think we also, hopefully you got into a little bit of a kind of case study slash simulation type approach where you can actually think about this. How would you respond to this question? Or what question would you ask of this business? So in my opinion, you're doing some good stuff. And so now the question is, all right, what's next, right? Hopefully, well, I guess two things have happened. Either you have started really getting excited about the idea of doing some marketing as a hobby, doing some marketing in your own business, either now or in the future, or maybe even starting to think, wow, this could be kind of a fun gig for me as either a company that I run or as a career. All of those things are good. If our conversations have sparked something, that's a positive. Or you haven't. This isn't interesting to you at all. I'm going to focus on the people for whom it's interesting. Okay. So what next? The best, biggest thing that you can do is to apply to be part of our next Marketing University class. And I'm going to talk to you about what that is. And in some cases, I'm creating it, right? That's the fun thing of marketing. It's actually the fun thing of teaching, too. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the class on a monthly basis. And all of the kids, students who are interested and who apply, there's a fee for it. I'm not even going to write the fee because one of the things I'll talk to you about in terms of pricing is it may change, right? There's a video on the website called The 4 Principles of Pricing, and it talks about how pricing is really important to your marketing message. As an example, if you price something very, very low, you might think, oh, well, that'd be great. I'll have a lot of people who are interested in it. But people evaluate and decide value based on price. If something's very, very cheap, they might evaluate it and say, well, that's not a very high quality product. If something's very, very expensive, people automatically impute, or impute is a great word, but impute means to place on, right? To attribute to. They'll say, oh, if that's expensive, it must be good. Well, which would you rather have? Would you like for your clients and prospective customers to think of you as very, very good or very, very not good? Well, that's part of what pricing does. So I'm not going to write it up here because I might change it. Also, well, I won't go into the whole principles of pricing. That's one of the things that we talk about in the class. All right, or in the course. So what are we going to do? We're going to review some of these concepts. Then we're going to start building on them. Our goal is to get you in the first month in a place where you can really start approaching and adding value to local businesses. We have a whole host of businesses, as you're probably not surprised. We have a whole group of businesses that are super excited to have you come do work for them. Now, you're in kind of an apprentice intern position right now where they're helping you as much as you're helping them. But that won't be the case once you graduate. Once you graduate, you're full on seeking clients. And we're going to talk about how to build a business so that you can have a very profitable school year or a very profitable summer, and how you can really leverage this in terms of achieving your college goals or your career goals or really just your money goals, whatever they are. But fundamentally, you're going to be doing what I do for a living. You're going to be connecting with businesses. You're going to be asking questions. You're going to be making suggestions. But you're going to do that in the context of our class. And that means that when you talk to the carpet salesman and they tell you what the problem is in their business, you can then bring that problem to me and to our class, and you can say, what do you think I should do about this? And we can all jump on it and give suggestions. So let's just go over some of what we're going to be talking about. As I've said, anything that I have said during this 7-day introduction where I've said, oh, well, that'll come later, well, then this is later, right? So we will be talking about using social media. We'll be talking about search engines, how search engines work, and why somebody would want to make some changes in terms of their website or changes to the kinds of stuff that they're sharing in order to attract, to be the person who comes up first on Google when somebody searches for personal trainer or somebody searches for Indian food, right? We're going to talk about leveraging lots of different technologies. Maybe I'll even pop up here some of the different social media or marketing things that we'll be talking about. Things like, for businesses, you guys may not, for your students, you may not have run into this yet, but there's a thing called LinkedIn, which is like a business network. There's a thing called Alignable, which is a local business network. There's Facebook, there's Pinterest, there's Instagram, there's YouTube, there's Yelp, right? There's Google ads, there's YouTube ads, there's Amazon, there's all these things. Now, each of those things can be a long, long course. Our goal is for you to be familiar with them so that when you're talking to a business, you can talk about it. You can think of it like you're a person, you have a tool belt, and you have all these tools on your belt. Well, when you go into a situation and they need something, you can say, I have the tool that can help you fix that, right? So that's one of the things. I don't necessarily want you, although this isn't a bad thing, I don't want you necessarily to become a search engine expert or an Amazon affiliate expert or a YouTube ad expert. You know, the world works well when you can see from the top and see what the opportunities are, and then you can plug in as you want to plug in. And truthfully, some of you might take that exact approach. I am going to become a Google search engine optimization expert. And great. The person right next to you can rely on you when they need help with that particular issue. They can focus on discovering, surfacing opportunities. All right, all that said. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about funnels, right? So, I might as well use my board. I got a board here. So we talked about the funnel, right? You have your bait, brings in the customer. You use lead generation, advertising to attract people using your bait. And then they come in to your funnel. And then the question is, okay, how do you convert them into a customer who pays you money? All right. Well, this is a big old thing. We haven't talked about fulfillment, right? Fulfillment is how they're going to make that customer delighted. But if you take a look at this, you can be talking to a business and saying, well, what's your problem? Is your problem that you don't have enough customers? Well, then we're going to focus on bait and lead generation. We don't care at all about this. This is all after you get the person coming in the door. Or is it you've got a bunch of people coming in the door, but they're not converting into customers? Well, let's deal with that over here. We can do all sorts of things. We can do 23 things to increase conversion, right? Or is it a situation where it's like, no, I've got no problem. I'm bringing in lots of prospects. I'm converting people into customers. It's just taking too much money. It's taking too much time. It's taking too much energy to fulfill them. Well, we can talk about that as well. So some of these tools that we're going to talk about that you are going to be able to be proficient in. Now, I've been accused of having people drink from the fire hose, like overwhelming people. So I'm going to try to do my best during the program to not do that for you. During the program, you're going to be able to grab specific modules, specific lessons, and add that to your tool belt, right? Like you might say, okay, I'm going to go do the how to write good sales copy, right? That's something where if you read it, it makes you want the product. And video is kind of sales copy brought to life, right? If this is, I didn't really write this in advance, but if this is good, then it makes you want the thing that I'm talking about. So you might say, you know what, I want to really get good at writing sales copy or producing video copy. That's what it's called, copy. Well, then you do that and you add that to your tool belt. And now, as you go out into the world, you can both think and say, I have completed the training on this particular topic. Let's say one of your topics is just general business. You're like, I want to have an overview of the sales cycle. Well, going through this process, understanding the steps, understanding the terminology, understanding what sort of is important to who, that sort of thing, well then you've now just added that to your tool belt. Let's say we're talking about Facebook ads. Facebook, I was thinking about this yesterday. It's really kind of cool. I mean, I don't spend any time on Facebook, but if you are on Facebook, you know, you're interacting with your friends, you're sharing your videos, you're sharing whatever. And again, if you guys, in terms of you students, are like, dude, we don't use Facebook. Facebook's for old people. That's completely fine. It's a little noxious, but it's completely fine. Think about you. It doesn't matter what's important to you. It matters what's important to your clients and who their customers are. If they are marketing to kids, then they want to know what's going to get them in front of either kids or their parents. If they're marketing to people my age, right, I'm 48 years old, if they're marketing to us, they might say, oh, well, you know, what's called a demographic, that target market is on Facebook. All right, great. Then that's where they should be. And if they're looking to market to 3-year-olds, then they should be on, you know, Nickelodeon or I don't know, whatever. That's not my business. Okay. So, Facebook ads. Sorry. So, Facebook ads. Well, then I want you to pull down the course on Facebook ads that explains what Facebook ads are, who they could be a benefit to, how you do it, how you pay for it, how you know if it's working, how you report to your client if it's working, how do you figure out who your target market is going to be, how do you select who that ad is going to show in front of, what are some good best practices that people have been doing in order to make Facebook ads work. Again, it doesn't even matter what we're talking about in terms of what we're selling. You could be selling personal trainer services, or you could be selling attorney services, or you could be selling termite removal, right? The question is, you have to start doing what we've been doing earlier, defining who the market is. How do you put your message in front of the market? That's what lead generation is. What is the good bait? If you're going to put an ad, if you're going to spend money, and again, I'm talking about your client's money, but if you are going to advise your client to spend money to put a message in front of their target market, then you better make sure that there's actually a worm on that hook, right? You don't just throw a hook into the water. I don't care how many fish there are, okay? And I might not even care how hungry they are. If you just throw a line with a hook into the water, you're not going to get them unless they just accidentally stumble upon it or they're just bored, okay? Let's just say this. You're more effective if you put bait on the hook. So then you're going to talk about to your client, and this is honestly, well, I was about to say that this is probably one of the biggest things that you're going to do is to help clients develop bait. But the truth of it is you can still develop good messaging even if it's not great bait. So we'll talk about all sorts of things. You're going to say, you might start with your client and say, listen, you've got a really good product. You've actually got the opportunity to put your message in front of your market. You just don't have good bait. Or, you know what, you've got great bait. We just need to put that on more hooks and drop that line into more ponds. Or, hey, listen, you've got great bait and they're coming into your funnel, but you're doing a bad job of reeling them in, okay, etc. Now, you might think, dude, I can't talk to an adult who owns a business and say to them they're doing a bad job of this and that. And that's completely fair. That's not necessarily how you're going to be. You need to be able to think it though, right? I need you to be able to look at my business and say, wow, you've got some opportunities there that you're not taking advantage of. And then how you present that to me is going to be different. And we're going to talk about all of this. My goal is for you to develop a very high-functioning, profitable business. Now, I'm talking to multiple people here, right? You could be somebody who just wants to market their own business, and that's fine. I want that to be profitable. You could be somebody who wants to have a career on Madison Avenue or creating commercials or doing digital marketing. That's great. I want that to be profitable. Or you could be in a situation where you're like, I would really like to run my own show and be able to work with lots of different clients or all clients that are from a specific industry. I want to work with people who work with pets. Fine. I want that to be profitable. But you see the kind of common theme is I want your business to be profitable. And that way that happens is you developing, as I've said over and over again, right? Competence and confidence. I want you to know what you're doing, and I want you to believe that you know what you're doing and communicate that you know what you're doing. So we're going to start with making sure you know what you're doing. And honestly, hopefully you've gotten a lot from the first 7 lessons. But now the question would be, do I want to shift in and join the next program? I'm trying to limit the size of the program. That may not be a big issue in the beginning, but the goal, this hopefully will be running forever, this little video that I've recorded long after I'm dead. That will be eerie. But my goal, of course, is for you for us to have lots and lots of people, because I'm going to give you opportunities to market the program as well. It's a product. I'm a client, right? So as we grow, the goal is to keep it, let's just say keep it manageable, because we have to fulfill on our promise. And that's something that I'll be working on, etc. Okay, so other things, marketing mastery. Let's just assume for the sake of argument that you develop all of these skills and you're very excited about it. And then you are like, okay, well, what do I do with it? Well, we're going to talk about how to go get clients. We're going to talk about your own, if you remember, we talked about target markets, your own niche. We might say, I want you to focus on working with attorneys. I want you to focus with working on doctors. I want you to focus on working with doctors who are also attorneys. So those are some of the things that we can do. But the truth of it is that's what is going to come out of the course. You're going to start deciding, what you're interested in. But in that process, you're going to be ready to reach out and attract clients and feel comfortable that you can fulfill on your promise to those clients. That's very important. If you don't believe that you can do the job, then you won't convert, you won't put people in your funnel, you won't make good bait, and you will not lead generate. And that's something that you have to be able to see with your clients. You have to be able to see when they're holding themselves back. So, all that said, let me just talk about a little bit of the structure. So, there's a bunch of things. I never bring hold on. Paper towel. Good times. All right. So, what are we going to do? I reserve the right to add to this as we go, but here are some of the known structures. There will be video/webinar lessons. And my goal with these is going to be, like I said, tools. Explaining SEO, explaining how to put Google AdWords on your page or as a way of increasing revenue for your client. How to create a good piece of bait. What are some fundamentals of writing good copy? Introduction to different social media. Now, some of those will be just doing what I'm doing right now, right? Talking to you. Some of these I will grab from other people or I will grab from other places, but it will all be in pursuit of you being able to add tools to your tool belt. And, this will all be tracked because part of what's going to come out of here is you're going to have a portfolio of skills. Now, you have a portfolio of skills, but you'll also have a portfolio of experiences. If you go out and write an ad for a client, well, that goes into your portfolio of experiences. If you go out and learn how to write an ad, that goes into your portfolio of skills. So we want to have that so that as you emerge, first off, it's nice to be able to track your successes, but then secondly, we want you to be able to go out and say, here's what I know how to do, right? All right, so video webinar lessons. I will also continue to do these types of peppery type of videos, whether it's I'm talking to one of my students or I'm talking to a client and we're just talking about business. I will take that and share it with you so that you can be constantly being exposed to ideas. We just can't go wrong, guys. I mean, the truth of it is there's plenty of people. If you're in the business of solving problems, you're never going to lack for business because people always have problems. And once you've solved problem one, a new problem comes up, a new opportunity comes up, and you can help with that as well. So don't worry about anything other than getting good, getting more skilled, and then focusing on what you really want to do and like to do. And this is something you can do for the rest of your life from anywhere, right? If you want, I'm in Alexandria right now, but if I wanted to be in Alexandria, Egypt, I could be there and running my marketing consulting business, or just marketing something, right? I could say, hey, listen, we're selling tours to the pyramids, and because I know how to market things, I can go connect with somebody who has a tour business and start marketing their business and make whatever type of money I want to make, okay? And have whatever type of freedom I want to have. And again, whether you want to be in that business your whole life or whether you want to go do other things, you will be coming into any situation in your life, whether that's promoting an event for your local PTA, whether that is working with a nonprofit, whether that's working with a startup, new technology company, you're going to be able to come in there and be the person with the goods. You're going to be the person who knows how to do the thing that they need to know how to do. So that's marketing mastery. The other things we'll be doing, I'd like to do office hours every week, probably just online, where you can come and chat with me, either just chat or video chat, and we'll be talking about things. That's probably where I will grab somebody and say, let's analyze one of your business cases, right? You're working with a restaurant down in Old Town. They're saying they have these types of problems. Here's what my suggestion would be. That's really the fun part. You know, it's just brainstorming. It's applying things that you've done in the past to something that's an issue that somebody else is having. All good. There will be lots of paper resources or digital, PDF resources that you can use. I would love to have, as I'm hoping that you interacted with the simulation. So I would love to have more of those simulations, whether that's just understanding the numbers of a business, like what would happen if I doubled their revenue, or what would happen if I doubled their customer count, or what would happen if I changed their pricing and how that, changes. So those are some things. I would love to have, especially when we're local, I would love to have places where we can get together. We could go blitz a business, right? We could go do a site tour. Those are things that I'm a little bit less likely to promise because they can be hard to coordinate and manage. And I'm a big fan of leverage. I'm a big fan of doing something that we can scale out. But everything all the ideas that we have, I'm happy to partner with y'all on, right? If you say, listen, I think that we could do a field trip to a business and interview the owner, and I think that we could use that to market the program. Great, let's do it. You run it, and we'll share in the revenue from it, right? So those are all kinds of cool things. It's envisioned to be 12 weeks. Let me just write that down. 12 weeks. And the goal is to start one every month. So, if you're in your 4th week or 5th week, you're going to be in your 5th week when somebody else is starting their 1st week, and somebody else is going to be in their 8th week when you started, blah, blah, blah. So there'll be a lot of cross-pollination, learning from each other, opportunities to share what your problems, your challenges, but also, your successes. And 12 weeks. Oh, and then the goal will be to have an alumni, right? Alumni of people who have graduated the program and just help you use what you have learned and what you are doing to get more gigs, more projects, positions, if that's what you're looking for. And, a lot of you are thinking about going to college and trying to think about how can you, distinguish yourself? How can you make yourself stand out from the crowd? Well, this will help, and we will help you do that. We will reach out to the admissions directors that we know and give you tools like letters of recommendation, etc., help you get letters of recommendation from your clients. But the other thing is that I would love to work with y'all to take this into your colleges, right? Because there are businesses in those college towns, and then there are students, college students, shouldn't call them kids, I guess, college students who are running businesses. And of course, college students have needs, parents have needs. So you can be thinking about what type of business you want to run, etc. So these are great opportunities, in my opinion, that you'll be able to take advantage of. as we move forward. The goal for the 7 days was to get you ready and maybe give you a taste, maybe even get you excited. Then the goal for the 12 weeks is to give you a really, really, really solid foundation in that first month, and then start learning on the job as we move forward. And then going forward, obviously people are going to go where they want to go in terms of, is this just, are you using this to get a job? Are you using this to get into college? Are you using this to make a little extra money? Are you using this to help your parents' business? Are you using this to help your own business? Or do you really want to be opening up your shop one day and as, blah, 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 marketing consultant? Either way is fine. Next step for you, though, is to register. You'll either go directly into the class or you'll go on the wait list, depending on what our numbers are. You can pay online, and then you'll be ready to go. You'll have access to some materials before the program begins, but our programs are going to restart every month. Partially, that's just managing things so that I can get excited about new programs starting. Also, as we make changes, we want to be able to implement them afresh, anew for the new program. So there it is. Again, if you do not go forward with me and your fellow marketers as part of Marketing University, well, I just wish you nothing but the best. Please reach out to me. So my email, at least as of this moment, there it is fraser@forthuntparent.com. You, of course, probably have gotten many emails from me, so you do not need to see that. Please reach out to me, or if there's a place on the website to give just share some of what you've learned, share what you're doing. Would love to track with you. Again, whether you go through Marketing University or whether you just went through Marketing Orientation, Marketing 101, as far as I'm concerned, we're on this journey together, and I would love to not only hear what you're doing and if you need anything, but to help support you, and help support you in connecting with clients. The big way that we're going to do that is through the program, because that's what I created. But I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to put you in front of people or connect you with people that I think would be interesting to you or you'd be interested in, or that's the same thing. Somebody's interested in somebody. So there's that, and wish you nothing but the best. Remember, business is good. You are doing a great job. If you're helping other businesses connect with clients, then you're doing the Lord's work as far as I'm concerned, because you're helping people who would be better off if they did connect. All right. So congratulations for completing the program. Hope to see you around campus, as we say, and good luck.